Welcome back to Open. On June 11, the University Neighborhood Housing Program will host a credit extravaganza, educating Bronxites on all things credit. Joining us to share more about the event is Jamelia Abramson, Director of the Northwest Bronx Resource Center, and Kathy Clark, Development Director for the University Neighborhood Housing Program. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here.
So we're talking about credit.
Yes.
Something that can be a blessing or a curse to certain people. Many people are afraid to even check their credit scores, but you ladies are here to tell us the steps of what we should be doing. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are some of the main problems that you see that people have when it comes to credit?
Well, as you pointed, the main issue is originally like just thinking about your credit, like avoiding your credit report, your credit score, and everything that goes into it. But then more so, like understanding what goes into your credit. Like, are you behind on debt? How much credit can you afford, or how much credit are you receiving? Which there's usually a gap between that. Just because you have a 10,000 credit line doesn't mean that's something you could afford. So knowing how you could manage that and tying that in with your budget, so your household disposable income is not jeopardized.
Right.
So your credit goes balancing with your budgeting and your savings and the overall health of your financial status, so to achieve financial stability. The main things that we see mainly as far as like the credit report goes is student loan defaults, all debt coming back. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that you're not aware that existed because, again, people are not pulling their credit report, or just because they're old and the last time you checked, they weren't there, but 5 years down the line, they could come back. So that goes into the transparency of collection agencies. Like, was your debt sold by the original lender to a third party,
right,
and was that resold to someone else and then down the line sold again, and now you don't know who owns the debt. So finding who really has control of that, or who owns it now, by looking at your credit report, you could gain control of the situation.
It's like you have to play detective almost.
Almost.
If you let it go for so long.
The good news is, and you mentioned initially, being afraid to even look at your credit report because of the process. The good news is the Northwest Bronx Resource Center is here to hold your hand. We have an event coming up that you're going to share with the viewers, in which we have information about how to get secured credit cards, how to look at your budget, how to create more income, in your household, mm-hmm, as well as to work with a trained financial coach from the financial clinic to pull up your credit report for free.
I think that's the most terrifying thing, especially when you haven't checked it in a long time.
And then you will have a range of very skilled financial people right there with you. Mm-hmm. They're going to be able to explain to you what the credit score is, what the problems are. Mm-hmm. There may be easy fixes, but if it's a little bit more complicated, you can create an appointment for one-on-one financial coaching, and that is also free.
But I love that all this is free.
Well, part of our mission and part of the reason why we created the Resource Center was to reduce the use of predatory services. So, people everywhere, but especially in the Bronx, are struggling to make ends meet. And sometimes they get lured into a product that seems very attractive, will bring more income into their household, and it just creates a lot of problems. So everything we do is free. People are trained. We have a series of financial education courses that are coming up in July. Knowledge is power.
Definitely.
As much as you're afraid.
Especially about your own finances.
Exactly.
So we were talking about earlier about certain websites that you can go to check your credit score. It's Credit Karma, one of those sites that you would recommend, and I believe there's another site that people should go to.
Yeah, Credit Karma is a place you could use to continue monitoring your score, depending on how mobile savvy or computer savvy you feel with different app. But starting off with annualcreditreport.com, where you could get your 3 credit report free through the government. It's a secured site to log in once you confirm your identity. There's millions others, but you also want to be concerned where you're inputting your information so you don't become a victim of identity theft, or for you to continue paying for a service. A lot of the other places like freecredit.com promise you that they'll give you your score for free or your report for free, but then there's a membership fee or something pops up at the end which you didn't read on the fine print. So that fine print is key. But with annual credit report, you could be safe. It's a government site.
And you feel like that's the site you go to if you're beginning again?
Yes, or always. Once a year, you could check your credit report. If you feel you need to monitor it more frequently, since you get all 3 credit reports for free, and we're talking about TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, you want to make sure that the information in all 3 is accurate, because what's on one credit report may not be on the other. So you want to make sure when you're comparing all the information that all is it's all consistent, and that you've taken care of any late payments or any bad information on all 3 reports, so you can move forward with a clean slate.
How long does it usually take for a low score to be brought up to at least a moderate or, at least a higher score? And when we say low, that's usually below what, 600?
It depends what you're
score?
Applying for. If it's for a bigger, if you're planning to make a large purchase like a home or a car, then you're going to need a higher score. So probably 700, 720, 750, depending. But you also want to be wary when you hear no credit, no problem, because that's usually the problem. You're going to get a loan, but it's going to be at a higher interest rate. It's going to cost you more down the line.
And a lot of people don't look at that.
Yes.
It seems like it's an easy thing to get into, but the interest rate is going to come back and get you, haunt you.
You're going to pay probably double, 3 times of what the item should cost you. Or by the time you're done paying it off, you probably don't even have the item anymore.
Right.
So those are things to consider. Like, is it worth it for me to go through with this credit approval or this credit line that I now have available? Can I afford it down the line?
And anyone can recover their credit score, correct?
Correct.
I think that's what another fear that people have, like, oh, my score is too low. I don't think I can even bring this up. I'm just going to leave it alone.
We have, as I said, people can access free one-on-one financial coaching. Call our number and make an appointment. But one example, the financial counselor from the financial clinic shared with us was a person who had a bad credit score and was getting debt collection calls, was being harassed, and wanted to rebuild their credit. So over a period of 1.5 years, 2 years, was able to get a secured credit card. And then working with the counselor, was able to identify that one of the collections was from a hospital that had been closed, and they were able to resolve that piece. Another collection was past the date of the statute of limitations. They were able to get that off. And then the other ones, the person began, paying and understanding what he should pay, what he could put on a back burner, and, within 2 years, then had credit through the secured credit and was able to deal with back problems. So, yes, you can deal with issues.
Well, tell us one more time where the Bronxites can come and participate in this program on the 11th.
Well, they could join us on June 11th at 2715 Bainbridge Avenue. That's the Lady Refuge House building. And we're going to have a lot of experts. We're going to have lots of information related to credit. It's going to be a true extravaganza. It's going to be a fun day filled with a lot of information that it's not going to be nothing to be intimidated of. We're going to give you all the information and make sure it could take 2 years or it could take 6 months. Your credit could improve. It depends how severely damaged it is. But ignoring it is just going to make it worse.
And the number that you're going to share, if they can't make it to the June 11th fair, they can still call. We can help people, with home buyer assistance, people who own homes, and we can get you with that financial coaching we've been talking about.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies.
Well,
thank you.
for
Very valuable information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Remember that you can learn more and check out the event on June 11th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. located at 2715 Bainbridge Avenue in the Bronx. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear the inspirational story of a talented author. Stay tuned.